I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. The ball moves sometimes a little bit more quickly.
Stephanie White is scared to be kicked out of the WNBA sorority. She's downplaying what Caitlin Clark does.
Ball moves better with CeCe on the court, Steph White. You had a 30-assist game with CeCe when CeCe was the primary ball handler.
Stephanie White is absolutely pathetic.
I need someone to explain to me why there would be more damage.
Stephanie White speaks highly of players on opposing teams. She speaks more highly of players on opposing teams than the players on her own team.
There are people who are upset with how, they've been managing Caitlin Clark.
100%. Fever fans are done staying quiet. Coach Stephanie White is getting blasted. Not just for boring basketball, but for disrespecting Caitlin Clark. The one player carrying this franchise is being sidelined emotionally, and fans are calling it out. They're saying it loud and clear. Respect Caitlin, or get out of the way.
The reason why the Caitlin Clark hype was so big was because of how good Caitlin Clark was as a rookie.
Fever fans aren't imagining things. The disrespect toward Caitlin Clark is real, and it's coming straight from her own coach. Stephanie White barely mentions Caitlin in post-game interviews.
Stephanie White is scared to be kicked out of the WNBA sorority. She's scared not to be invited to all the social gatherings. She's downplaying what Caitlin Clark does.
Constantly shifting praise to others. One frustrated fan said it best. Stephanie White speaks more highly of players on opposing teams than the players on her own team.
And she's big-upping the rest of the league, whether it's the players on her own team, whether it's the players that aren't even in the league anymore. Stephanie White speaks highly of players on opposing teams. She speaks more highly of players on opposing teams than the players on her own team.
That's a direct shot, and fans aren't letting it slide. Caitlin Clark has led in scoring, assists, viewership, and fan engagement. She's the reason Fever games are packing stadiums and breaking TV records.
They're watching the whole game. It's the 4th most watched game on ABC this season.
Even when she's not playing.
She's also giving a show on the sideline. She knows what she's doing. She's a showman.
But when reporters ask about Caitlin, Coach White keeps it short, then pivots.
Oh, well, it might be better that Caitlin Clark is not playing. I don't know, but I'll let y'all listen to it.
One fan slammed the coach, saying, "She spends 7 seconds max talking about Caitlin before changing the subject. It's embarrassing."
Stephanie White spent more time big-upping DB in this 38-second clip than every press conference interview you go to. She spends 7 seconds maximum speaking highly of Caitlin Clark.
She's obviously coming back here for the first time. How have you seen her fit in with Phoenix and what's like the game plan against her?
I think she's fit in perfectly with Phoenix. I mean, she does a really good job. Her and AT so well together. And she does a really good job of adding a different dimension with her ability to be that stretch four, to complement, and her and Sachi being able to play on the floor at the same time with AT. She's comfortable there. She's comfortable in that system. It's going to be different to game plan against her. Her and AT both, really, honestly. After having been on the sideline with them for a couple of years, it's going to be different to game plan against her. But I'm glad that she's happy, and I'm glad that she's found her spot.
Caitlin deserves better. She's not just a rookie. She's the face of the league, the engine of the Fever, and the reason people still care about this team.
They went from 2.7 with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being the featured matchup all the way down to 1.5. 1.2 million people said, if it's not Caitlin Clark, I am not watching.
Fever fans aren't just upset about the interviews. They're angry about what they're seeing on the court. The system Stephanie White is running, it's slowing Caitlin Clark down. The same Caitlin who thrives in transition, who lives to push the pace, is being told to walk the ball up the floor like it's 1995. One fan didn't hold back, saying, "The way Stephanie White wants this team to play is literally like watching paint dry."
Stephanie White ball is like watching paint dry.
Let's be real. The Fever look lost when they don't let Caitlin control the tempo. She's a playmaker who sees the floor like nobody else in the league. When the ball is in her hands and she's allowed to run, the whole team elevates.
This is crazy. Caitlin there signing hundreds of autographs, 200 autographs.
But under Stephanie White, that fast-paced, free-flowing game vanishes. Instead, we get half-court sets, awkward ball movement, and wasted possessions. Another comment summed it up perfectly. The Fever are unbelievably boring without Caitlin Clark, sometimes even boring with her, when Stephanie White just wants to walk the ball down.
The Fever are unbelievably boring without Caitlin Clark. They are sometimes boring with Caitlin Clark when Stephanie White just wants to walk the ball down.
Even worse, this outdated system is wasting Clark's elite passing ability. No one else on the team can push the ball forward like Caitlin. Not Arie McDonald, not Lexi Hall, not even Aaliyah Boston in the high post. Caitlin is literally the only one who can create offense in motion, and the coach is reining her in.
There's no one to toss forward, which is kind of crazy that Caitlin is the only player that can pass forward on this team.
This isn't about X's and O's. It's about trusting your star. Clark isn't just good, she's historic. She's already putting up MVP-level numbers in her rookie year. One analysis even said, if you take out the first 11 games where the schedule was insane, Caitlin averaged 21 points and 9.7 assists. That's MVP-level production.
Caitlin Clark on the season, I shit you not, averaged 21 points and 9.7 assists per game.
And yet, the system slows her down. It limits her shooting. It minimizes her role. What kind of coach does that to their best player? Fans have every right to be mad because what they're seeing isn't just mismanagement, it's sabotage, and they're screaming for change.
There are people who are upset with how, they've been managing Caitlin Clark. They've been managing the team.
Caitlin presents a challenge in itself for any opponent, but when she doesn't play, how is your team different?
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity and her ability, not just to be at the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands. So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff, a lot less on-ball actions. And I think the other thing is the ball moves sometimes a little bit more quickly, and hopefully side to side. We've got everybody that's on the floor has to be aggressive offensively. Everybody that's on the floor has to be willing passers and shooters. We got to take what the defense gives us. And I also think it gives us a different look defensively. We're smaller, but we're a little bit quicker. And we've got to be disruptive.
If there's one thing Fever fans agree on right now, it's this. Caitlin Clark deserves better. Not just today, but for the long run. And the fear is growing louder. If Coach Stephanie White keeps making the same decisions, the franchise could waste Caitlin's prime years. It's not just about offense or minutes anymore. It's about building a team around one of the most game-changing rookies women's basketball has ever seen. And yet, instead of building fast, young, modern talent around her, fans are seeing a coach focused on veteran experience and outdated systems. One fan spelled it out clearly. If we go into next season with Stephanie White signing a bunch of old players for championship experience, I don't know how much longer the hype is going to last.
People are still watching Fever games, yeah. People must think Caitlin sitting on the bench is more entertaining than most WNBA games. Honestly, yeah.
And they're right. The only reason people are watching Indiana right now, the only reason Fever jerseys are flying off the shelves, the only reason arenas are packed, is Caitlin Clark. The minute that momentum fades because of bad coaching, fans will turn their attention elsewhere. The WNBA has been gifted a superstar, and the Fever are dangerously close to blowing it. Just look at the data. Even when Caitlin is injured, the ratings stay sky high.
ABC aired another one of its most watched WNBA games ever with the Indiana Fever's win over the Chicago Sky. They had the biggest chance, and both times she did not play, man. It's crazy. That motion stays consistent whether she's on or off the court.
One game without her still pulled 1.5 million viewers on ABC.
All right, it says 1.5 million in average viewers. It peaked at 1.7. And then the WNBA on ESPN up 6% from last season.
Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. No Caitlin Clark, no Angel Reese.
And that was against a depleted Chicago Sky team. Why? Because the Caitlin Clark effect is that powerful. Fans are invested in her journey. They're tuning in not just for wins, but for moments, for emotion,
even if Caitlin Clark isn't playing, she's showing up to these games and actually signing autographs and all that good stuff.
For history in real time. But what are they getting in return? A coach who downplays her, slows the game down, and praises opposing players more than her own superstar. Someone even said, Stephanie White is more excited about players on other teams than she is about the woman saving her job. That says it all. And let's not forget, this isn't a typical rookie. Caitlin isn't just growing, she's already dominating. After a brutal start to the season, due to a packed schedule and physical targeting, she still averaged over 21 points and nearly 10 assists in the final 30 games.
If the season was only the last 30 games of the season, Caitlin Clark was the MVP.
That's not just good for a rookie, that's MVP level. And still, we're seeing slow rotations, rigid play calling, and a coach who's playing it safe. Fans want fire. They want movement. They want energy. They want Caitlin Clark unleashed.
Now that Caitlin Clark is not playing, I see a lot of them, man. I see, I'm not watching. Oh, if she's off the court, then I'm not viewing it. So it's good to see that some people are still supporting the league, supporting the team.
Instead, what they're getting is hesitation, and they're fed up. They've seen this movie before in other leagues. A generational talent stuck on a franchise that refuses to evolve. That can't happen again. Not with Caitlin. Not after everything she's done to put Indiana and the entire WNBA on the map. One fan said it best. You've got the most exciting player in the world, and you're asking her to walk the ball up like it's 2006? Let her cook. The fans aren't being impatient. They're being real. They know what they're watching, and they know what happens when you waste a superstar's window. This isn't just a plea, it's a warning shot. If the Fever don't change fast, if Stephanie White doesn't start trusting Caitlin Clark and building a system around her strengths, fans are ready to check out, and they won't come back.
Why was there even the possibility of there being more damage when she's supposed to be resting?
She's been with our athletic training team, and we've been preparing everybody else.
To that point, in what ways does, although it's not complete clarity, but now you can, to some extent, kind of move on and say, hey, this is what we have for the time being. Let's move forward. What can that do over these next several weeks or whatever it takes?
Yeah, I think that's big. Just the mindset of our group to know that we've got what we've got, to continue to grow and connect in those ways, and not, is she available? Is she not available? Will she practice? Will she not practice? And sort of the disruption that comes with some of that. So there's clarity, and I think that's good for everybody. It's good for Caitlin too, so she doesn't feel any kind of way. She can just approach and attack her rehab one day at a time.
Fever fans aren't asking for much. They just want Caitlin Clark to get the respect she's Fever fans have spoken. Respect Caitlin Clark, or risk losing the whole fan base. She's the reason for the hype, the ratings, the sold-out games. If the coaching staff can't see that, it's time for a change. Drop a 100% in the comments if you stand with Caitlin. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more WNBA updates.